You to a historic weekend here at the Thunderdome at Cougar Field in River Forest, Illinois, the home of Concordia Cougars baseball, as this is the first time in school history they are hosting playoff baseball, and it comes to us here on the weekend of May 17th of 2019. Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Cougar Sports Network. On this Friday morning, I'm Ryan Fahey with you on the broadcast for today as we begin our regional weekend action with two games here on day one of three, as we start off with the host Cougars starting game one for our doubleheader here today against the Beavers of Buena Vista. As to how these teams got here, Concordia University Chicago, well, if you look at how they did in 2018, how do you ask them how they top it? Well, they do it with their best regular season record of 35-5 on the year, coming off of a 40-win season back in 2018. And if you look for the Beavers of Buena Vista, 25-17 in 2019 during the regular season, their best season overall since 2014, where they won 37-9 5 years ago, as the Beavers are riding a 7-game winning streak coming into today's contest out of the American Rivers Conference. They won the conference tournament as well en route to coming to River Forest, Illinois here today. And as we see the dirt on the infield, the chalk being painted on down, we'll get set now for the non-starters and the starting lineups for both teams of the Beavers and the Cougars as well. First pitch coming your way in just a moment, but now let's turn it over to the public address announcer and Jim Egan.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Concordia University Chicago here in River Forest, Illinois for the 2019 NCAA Division III Regional. Today's first game is between the number 1 seed Concordia University Chicago Cougars and the number 4 seed the Buena Vista University Beavers. At this time, let's meet the teams for our first game. First, for the visitors, the Buena Vista Beavers. Their head coach, Steve Eady. Assistants, Steve Stonka, Joe Paletta, Andy Bauer, Chris Gumcho, and Colton Mills. The trainer, Melissa Kleinschmidt. Introducing first the non-starters. Number 7, Alex Savary. Number 9, Austin Scott. Number 10, Easton Barr. Number 12, Reed Fitzke. Number 13, Gage Smart. Number 14, Tyler Tennyson. Number 16, Eric LaRue. Number 18, Porter Sarter. Number 20, Tate Holmes. Number 21, Parker Truesdell. Number 27, Casey Hendricks. Number 30, Hunter Meyer. Number 31, Quayton Christian. Number 33, Devin Van Houten. And number 34, Jackson Smith. Now, here is the starting lineup for Buena Vista. Leading off and playing at second base, number 4, Bryce Rowe. Batting second in center field, number 6, Peyton Renning. Batting third and playing at first base, number 19, Joe Rock. The cleanup batter is in right field, number 15, Coleman Roberts. Batting fifth is the designated hitter, number 8, Nick Henricks. Batting sixth and playing at third base, number 17, Logan Mueller. Batting seventh and doing the catching, number 24, Tyler Stoltze. Batting eighth in left field, number 3, Riley McGregor. Batting ninth and playing at shortstop, number 1, Noah Paper. And pitching today for the Beavers is left-hander number 22, Egan Bondi. These are the Beavers of Buena Vista University. And now introducing the Concordia Chicago Cougars. Head coach, Mike Stosky. Assistants, Colin Connor, Mitch Wilson, Mike Formella, Colin Bethrin, Jake Garvey, Alex Keinert, and Adam Lackey. The trainer, Olivia Zander. And now the Cougars non-starters. Number 6, Matthew Uva. Number 10, Anthony Rogers. Number 17, Michael Zavoli. Number 19, Alex Krinigan. Number 22, Nick Brummel. Number 26, Mike Tobin. Number 30, Abe Paz. Number 33, Noah Dressler. Number 34, Gianfranco Sorrentino. Number 36, Jacob Frank. Number 38, Zach Litke. Number 40, Nathan Dewey. Number 44, Cade Logdenschlager. Number 45, Cole Carmen. And now here are the starters for the Concordia Cougars. Leading off and playing shortstop, number 1, Jose Mercado. Batting second and playing in center field, number 3, Keegan Tyrell. Batting third is the third baseman, number 9, Brian Van Duzer. The cleanup man is playing at first base, number 8, Brody Mariotti. Batting fifth in left field, number 32, Connor Brandon. Batting sixth at second base, number 20, Braden Benavides. Batting seventh is the designated hitter, number 16, Mateo Calle. Batting eighth and doing the catching, number 25, Justin Rodriguez. Batting ninth in right field, number 7, Matt Faust. And pitching today for the Cougars, left-hander number 28, Adam Gregory. These are the Concordia Chicago Cougars. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we ask all who are able to please rise. Gentlemen, please remove your hats. The United States flag is at half-staff today in honor and remembrance of United States Army Corporal John G. Krebs of Sterling, Illinois. Let us honor him, along with the rest of our men and women in the military and our first responders, with the playing of our national anthem.
So now that you've heard everyone be introduced from both sides of the coin, you'll see the managers meet at home plate. Mike Stosky in his 4th season with the program. You see on the left side of your screen. Talking to the umpires for our contest today. Trent Haldeman will be the home plate umpire. Russ Lundquist will be over at first. And Toby Formiller will be the umpire over at third. And you see the other manager gracing your screen from the right side. The head coach in his 19th season with the Beavers of Buena Vista with a 25-17 record is Steve Eady. In his 19th season with the program, he has spent his entire coaching career at Buena Vista, putting together an overall record of 437 wins, 331 losses, and 2 ties. And he is the 4th coach out of the American Rivers Conference to reach 400 career wins when he did so, achieving that mark back in 2018. And in his time there in his 19 seasons, since 2001, 15 conference tournament appearances, including 11 straight, dating to 2019, 143 and 84 all-time during that stretch. And in 2019, they won their final 10 and finishing 11 and 2 in that stretch. So as we conclude the meeting at home plate, let's get you set with the Cougars defense. Before we get to the starting pitcher, we'll go out to the outfield first, left, center, and right. It'll be Brandon, Tyrell, and Foth to left, center, and right. Around the infield, it'll be third to first we will go. As for the Concordia Chicago Cougars, it'll be Van Duzer over at third, Mercado at short, Benavidez over at second, and Mariotti over at first. And the battery duo of Rodriguez catching, and the pitcher for Game 1 of our Division III Baseball Regional here at Concordia that's sent out there by head coach Mike Stosky is number 28, Adam Gregory, one of the star aces for this Cougars team in 2019, a 6-0 record with a 204 earned run average. Has 9 games under his belt this season, going the full distance 1 time this season. In 53 innings pitched, he's given up 46 hits, 15 runs, 12 of them earned, walking 14 batters while striking out a whopping 43 of them. And on top of that, allowing a .227 batting average to his opponents that he has faced. As you heard the starting lines from our public address announcer in Jim Egan just a moment ago, the starting lineup for the Beavers, as we'll see here, 1, 2, and 3 to begin the top of the first inning. It'll be Bryce Rowe, the second baseman, leading things off by the center fielder in Peyton Renning, who's in center, and the batter in third will be the first baseman, number 19, Joe Rock. Top 3 in this order for the Beavers are at least a .371 or above in the on-base percentage department. Also want to thank the great crew on hand here today for the Concordia Chicago Cougars. Our producer is Shelby Spitz, and on the cameras today we have Alexa Lomentini and also Courtney Luciano. And of course, a shout out as well to the great CJ Sellner up here in the booth as well, as he gets a golf clap up here in the booth as well, as he tries to not turn as red as the maroon Concordia colors sport on his gray jacket. You'll be seeing the Cougars here on your screen in the home whites, while the Beavers will be in the blue uniforms with the gray pants, white trim, and yellow numbers. As we get set for first pitch action again, the first of 3 days here, we will be in River Forest, Illinois for Division III Baseball Regional action. The top-seeded Concordia Chicago Cougars, 38-7. The Beavers of Buena Vista, 25-17. As the pitches have been thrown down to warm us up, Bryce Rowe gets set, the right-handed batter, and we are getting ready for first pitch action here at Concordia Chicago. Nice crowd gathering on hand here today. Temperatures expected to get towards the upper 50s. We hope to avoid some of the slight chance of weather that is supposed to roll through the area later this afternoon. But right now we're crystal clear and ready to go. And it starts off with a strike one from Adam Gregory. Bryce Rowe, a .389 hitter, starting all 42 games for the Beavers this season. A .509 slug percentage to his credit and a .463 on base. Out of the starting lineup, he leads them in stolen bases as well with 20. So if he gets on the base pads, he is somebody to keep an eye on around 90 feet each side as he fouls this one off. On deck, we mentioned Peyton Renning, the center fielder. Renning in his senior season with the Beavers. As this 0-2 offering is swung on, and a fly ball to right center. As this one coming on in and make the catch is Matt Foth, and there's one away. So one down here to begin our action in the top half of the first inning. As that brings up the center fielder, Peyton Renning.
Center fielder, number 6, Peyton Renning.
Renning also playing and starting in all 42 of the Beavers games here in 2019 as he smacks this one right past Gregory and into center field for a one-out hit. So Renning gets on. 328 hitter he was coming into action, his 59th hit here in 2019. Now, of course, he'll increase his 371 on base percentage. And he's also lethal when he's on the bases. He's got 15 stolen bases to his credit, does the senior center fielder in Renning. Is now stepping in as the left-handed hitter, Joe Rock. As Rock looks at that one for ball one. Rock, a 365 hitter on the year. Played in 36 games for the Beavers and a 452 slug percentage. As he fouls this one off. Rock, the junior from Stillwater, Minnesota. Bats left and throws left. Lefty on lefty action here with one out in the top half of the first inning. Still no scores, we're just underway. As Gregory gets set and fires. Off-speed pitch there is in for ball two. Mentioned the numbers on Gregory. Second team all-conference this year. Talked about his 204 earned run average this season. As runner takes off from first to second, throw's going to go over to first and into second. Oh, they had him in time, but it was a drop. As it looked like they would have had the runner caught, but the drop play by the shortstop in Mercado has the Beavers with a runner now in scoring position. So now Joe Rock with the runner in scoring position at second. That runner, Peyton Renning. Two-one. Outside for ball three. Rock will take his walks as well. He's had 12 this season. Has struck out 21 times as he has a favorable count here of 3 balls and a strike. And the pitch now from Gregory. Swung on in a slap swing to the left side foul. And the count runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Coleman Roberts, the cleanup hitter playing in right today, is on deck. The sophomore right fielder hitting .265, waiting in the wings. 1 on, 1 out, top of the first, a full count here. Still no scores, we're just underway. As the full count offering from Adam Gregory is swung on and fouled to the netting again. As it is starting to become a grind here in this at-bat. Gregory, the senior from Palos Heights, Illinois, product of Shepherd High School from the southern suburbs of the Chicagoland area. As he gets set and fires, swung on in a fly ball down the left field line. That'll go foul. As Rock looking for some perhaps opposite field action in his approach of this at-bat. Crowd bundled up here today in River Forest with the light jackets. As this 3-2 is swung on, same spot and same result, and we'll do it again. The Beavers crowd that have made the trip out here showing their appreciation of Rock in this at-bat. Trying to grind this one out. Gregory keeping a check at the runner on second and Peyton Renning. As Gregory looking to work out of this at-bat. This is a slapper to the shortstop side. Mercado throw's going to go over to third, and they get the runner and Renning at third. Nice defense, good awareness from Mercado as they get the lead runner, and there's 2 away.
Batting fourth, the right fielder, number 15, Coleman Roberts.
So Rock reaches on the fielder's choice. Coleman Roberts, the right fielder, now will dig on in. A big second out there for the Cougars defense as the sophomore Roberts now steps in. First pitch swung onto the netting, and that actually almost affected our field mic down there. So running out on the 6-5. And the connection from Mercado to Van Duzer. That's high for a ball, 1-1 the count. Nick Henricks, the DH, is on deck should this half inning continue. With a ball and a strike here, no score. Rock the runner on first. 1-1 is, I think our field mic may be getting a workout here early on and maybe throughout the day today. Count now goes to 1-2. Gregory has this one be a chopper to the second base side for Benavidez, but it's going to slip on past him, and there's 2 runners aboard now with 2 outs. So Coleman Roberts will reach on the fielder's choice error.
Designated hitter, number 8, Nick Henricks.
So that's now 2 here for the Cougars defensively in this half inning. So Gregory trying to work out of this top first inning jam. Had a runner in Reading that was on in scoring position earlier. But Mercado made the fielder's choice out over to third. As this one on the first pitch is a chopper to Mercado. Flips over to second in time, and Adam Gregory gets out of the jam, and we are still scoreless with the Cougars coming to bat here in the bottom of the first inning. We'll be right back for that action and a whole lot more here on the Cougars Sports Network.
Nothing. Cougars coming to bat. And ladies and gentlemen, we want to remind everyone that while the netting will protect you from most foul balls, there is always a chance that one could come over the top and land in your seating area. Therefore, we ask everyone to please be alert at all times while play is going on. If you have any small children with you, please keep an eye out for them as well. Be safe and enjoy today's game.
As we get on set now for the bottom half of the first inning, Cougars coming to bat. They'll be led off by the shortstop and Jose Mercado, who had that final out there in the top half of the first inning. He'll be followed by Keegan Tyrell, the center fielder, and Brian Van Duzer, who's over at third. And as the throwdown goes to second, we'll get you reset on the Beavers defense. From left center to right, it'll be McGregor, Renning, and Roberts. From third to first, it's Mueller, Paper, Rowe, and Rock. The battery, the catcher, is Stolze, and the pitcher for the Beavers to start our weekend off is number 22, Egan Bondi. has a 6-1 record, a 331 earned run average, 65 1/3 innings pitched, allowing 73 hits, 29 runs, 24 of them earned, walking 8 batters and striking out 31, and the batting average allowed is .279. Jose Mercado to lead things off here in the bottom half of the first inning, and he is first pitch swinging as this one is out to right center field. And coming in to make the catch is Roberts, and it's 1 pitch and 1 out for Bondi here in the bottom of the first. So that brings in Tyrell, the senior. Played and started in 44 games this season is the senior center fielder in Tyrell. A .291 hitter with a .424 slug percentage, .403 on base. 10 stolen bases to his credit here in 2019. As he takes that one outside for ball 1. 13 doubles on the year, a couple of homers and 32 RBIs. As on the 1-0 offering, it's hit to the same area, and it's Roberts camping underneath that one, and as he's made 2 defensive plays here, and there's quickly 2 away for the Cougars. So quickly 2 down here, as that brings up the third baseman, and Brian Van Duzer, a .380 hitter, one of the top hitters on this team for the Cougars, first team all-conference in the Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference, a 2017 All-American and Conference Player of the Year. He's also 38th nationally with 47 RBIs coming into the regional here today. I mentioned Mercado a moment ago, as that one is on the outside part of the plate for strike 1. Mercado was a first-team All-Conference member. And he was hit by a pitch, the third most in the country, 23 times this season. So quite a bit of bruises to say for Mercado he's taken this season. Van Duzer swings at this one. This is a fly ball to left field. This one's hit pretty well as trying to get underneath that one. Coming in at first and then having the track on back was McGregor. And a loud third out taken as the Cougars go down 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the first inning. No runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base as we'll go to the top half of the second inning scoreless here in River Forest, Illinois. We'll be back for it on the Cougar Sports Network. We get set now for the top half of the second inning. It'll be Logan Mueller. The third baseman now will dig on in. Tyler Stoltze follows him as the catcher. And Riley McGregor, the left fielder. The 6, 7, and 8 hitters due up as a swing and a miss there for McGregor. Or I should say Mueller, excuse me. Mueller swings and misses on the first pitch. As Gregory looking to make quicker work here of this portion of the Beavers lineup. As he went through 5 batters back in the top of the first after a couple of errors and a single were given up. No runs coming in, though, and that's what really matters in the end. What's tallied on the scoreboard. Here's the 1-1. Swung on a pop fly to shallow right. Foth camping underneath this one. And a lot of action to right field here so far early on. And there's one away. So 1 down. Tyler Stoltze, the catcher, now will dig on in.
The catcher, number 24, Tyler Stoltze.
The sophomore, 308 hitter. 8 doubles, 27 RBIs. Has walked 16 times, second most on the team. Has a 384 on base percentage, 383 slug. Has struck out 28 times. He's only behind Noah Paper and Bryce Rowe in that department. Outside pitch there from McGregory, ball 1. As the sophomore catcher will hit it over to the third base side as Van Duzer makes the play over to first, and there's 2 away. There's nobody on now with 2 out. That brings up the left fielder, Riley McGregor.
The left fielder, number 3, Riley McGregor.
McGregor, the sophomore from Sergeant Bluff, Iowa. 5'10", 165-pound sophomore. Bats left and throws left. Lefty on lefty action again here in this sequence. As here's the pitch from Gregory. And that catches the outside part of the plate for strike 1. Noah Paper, the 9-hitter, is due on deck. Breaking ball action there from Gregory. McGregor, a .222 hitter on the year. Has played in 24 games for the Beavers this season as he swings at this one over to the first base side from Mariotti, who tags the bag himself, 3 unassisted. And that'll be a 1-2-3 inning. No runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. A clean inning for the pitcher, Adam Gregory, and the Cougars defense. We'll go to the bottom half of the second inning. Still scoreless here on the Cougars Sports Network.
Batting fourth and leading off the bottom of the second for the Cougars, first baseman, number 8, Brody Mariotti.
Letting the public address announcer Jim Egan introduce the broadcast for the bottom half of the second as you heard Brody Mariotti step on in. Brody Mariotti, a power hitter to say the least, as he takes that one for strike 1. Second team all-conference member this year. Ranks 12th nationally so far, 12 home runs to his credit. As Mariotti may have been looking for home run number 13 there as he swung and missed. The 4, 5, and 6 hitters do. Connor Brandon is on deck. Braden Benavidez will follow as he's in the hole. The 0-2 is a held swing from Mariotti, ball 1. Numbers on Mariotti, a .335 hitter, starting all 45 games for the Cougars this season. A .620 slug percentage. And a swing and a miss, strike 3, the first strikeout from Egan Bondi today. And there's 1 down.
Batting fifth.
So that brings up the well-recognized Connor Brandon. If you've been following Cougars baseball here in River Forest this season, you know what this kid has done. Conference Player of the Year, 6th in the country, 58 RBIs, top 25 nationally in slug percentage, 22nd in total bases. And he's in the top 33 as well in homers, as we mentioned the homer stat on Mariotti a moment ago. A .377 hitter is Connor Brandon, and that won't help the batting average in that department as he flies this one to right. Wynn really pushing that one a little more towards the right field edge a little bit as Roberts makes the play, and there's 2 down. So now Benavides will step in.
The second baseman, number 20, Braden Benavides.
So with nobody on and 2 out, Benavides sets in. As the Beavers coming into this regional rather hot, 7 wins in a row before heading over to River Forest, Illinois. Best season since 2014 for the program, that being the Beavers. Have to go back to 2014 when they had their better success of a 37-9 record, which came back in 2014. As that one is low in the dirt for a 2-1 count to the second baseman, Benavides. Two-1. Change that to 3-1 off the ball. Mateo Caive, the DH, is on deck as that one makes the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Still no score here in the bottom half of the second inning. This has been a defensive duel so far, and it remains the same way. A strikeout ends the second inning. So a clean sheet so far for Egan Bondi through 2 innings of play. We'll go to the top of the third inning scoreless between the Beavers and the Cougars on the Cougars Sports Network. So as we have the throwdown go over to second, we're ready to begin our top half of the third inning of play. The 9, 1, and 2 hitters are due. We'll lead things off here in the top of the third inning here with Noah Paper, the shortstop. The 5'10 senior from West Fargo, North Dakota. Digs in here and he takes a strike 1 called. Noah Paper, a 285 hitter on the year, 350 slug percentage, 327 on base. Stolen 7 bases this season. As he looks at that one for a called strike 2 from Adam Gregory. In their conference tournament, in the American Rivers Conference for the Buena Vista Beavers, they only allowed 1 run in their entire conference tournament stretch en route to the Concordia Regional here today. We mentioned that 7-game winning streak this Beavers team is on, riding hot despite the cooler temperatures. Nice crowd on hand here today. And we're going to have a complete 180 with the forecast tomorrow. We're expecting perhaps low 80s tomorrow. So as this one is slapped into left field for a leadoff hit in the top of the third from Noah Paper. So 1 on and nobody out, as we'll go now up to the top of the order in Bryce Rowe.
Second baseman, number 4, Bryce Rowe.
Rowe 0 for 1. He flew out to right to begin our festivities in the top of the first inning. Bryce Rowe, too, he's 3 hits shy of tying the program's single-season record of 71 hits, which was set back in 2010. He was also named the ARC Position Player of the Year back on Wednesday. So congratulations to Bryce Rowe with that honor. Look out to the Beavers dugout where that was hit foul. Everybody okay, though. Best finish for the Beavers came when they advanced to the College World Series and took third place back in 2011. This is their first time seeing postseason baseball other than their conference tournament since the 2014 season that we've talked about here in our broadcast so far. Peyton Renning, the center fielder, is on deck. As the 0-2 from Gregory is swung on and a fly ball to left, or I should say right center-ish. As getting that one with rather ease was Tyrell. And there's one out.
The center fielder, number 6, Peyton Renning.
So Peyton Renning now will step on in. 1 for 1 with a single. He reached to second on an E6, as where he was sort of caught in a rundown, so to speak. But a drop from Mercado, who was covering second to try to get the out, was not able to make the play. And then Renning was out on a 6-5 fielder's choice where he was trying to advance to third off of a hit from Joe Rock where he reached on a fielder's choice. The Cougars were able to work out of that jam, though, defensively in our opening half-inning festivities. As this one is a slapper to the right side, and that'll be a hit. So now there's 2 aboard with 1 out, as Renning is now 2 for 2. So now 60 hits for Peyton Renning on the season, as Joe Rock will dig in. I mentioned just a moment ago he reached on a fielder's choice back in the first. Beavers left 2 runners stranded the last time they were able to get runners on. We'll see if Gregory and the Cougars can make deja vu here in the top half of the third, as that one's outside for ball 1. Coleman Roberts, the right fielder, is on deck. Lefty versus lefty, Gregory versus Rock. Showed bunt there, but that's taken for strike 1. A ball and a strike now to Rock with 2 runners on. There's an off-speed pitch painted nicely from Gregory, strike 2. Ball and 2 strikes to Rock, as the ace Gregory will fire that one outside for ball 2. Trent Haldeman calling the balls and strikes behind home plate here today for our contest. As this one is a grounder to the right side. Play's going to go over to second in time to get the runner. So that's 2 times in a row now that Rock will reach on a fielder's choice. Renning is out on the 4-6 as Paper is standing 90 feet away from home.
Right fielder, number 15, Coleman Roberts.
So runners on the corners, Paper over at third, Rock over at first, as that brings in the right fielder now to the box in Coleman Roberts. Roberts coming in, striking out 30 times. As Gregory fires, and he rifles that one in there for strike 1. So no balls and a strike, as that one is outside for ball 1. Henricks, the DH, on deck for the Beavers of Buena Vista. Beavers looking to strike first on the scoreboard, and that won't happen with that one. So 1-2 count for the pitcher, Adam Gregory, as he was able to strand 2 runners on back in the first after a clean 1-2-3 in the second. What can he do here in the top half of the third? He's going to do the same thing as he did in the first. He's pumped up as he jumps off the mound. The first strikeout for Adam Gregory recorded today. No runs come in off of a pair of hits, no errors, and again, 2 runners left on base for the Beavers as the Cougars bring the momentum back to their side going to the bottom of the third. Still scoreless here in River Forest, Illinois for Division III regional baseball action here on the Cougars Sports Network. Here we go now to the bottom of the third inning. The 7, 8, 9 hitters due. So far, nothing to say for the bats yet, as Mateo Caive, the DH, now will step in. 4 flyouts, 2 strikeouts for the Cougars bats here so far, so they're looking to turn that around with the DH and Mateo Caive here in the bottom of the third inning. And it won't really do it there, as this one is a grounded to short. As the helmet comes off as Caive hustled down the first base line. But in the end, it's a ground out to short, and there's quickly one away here in the bottom of the third inning.
Batting 8th, the catcher, number 25, Justin Rodriguez.
So now the catcher, Justin Rodriguez, will step in. A 280 hitter with exactly 100 at-bats, just like his teammate in Caive, coming into this regional this weekend. And this one on the first pitch, and that's the first hit for the Cougars this afternoon, as the catcher, Justin Rodriguez, gets on base with 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Matt Fouth, now the right fielder, the 9-hitter, will come on in.
Batting 9th, the right fielder, number 7, Matt Fouth.
Fouth digs in with a 281 average. 38 games played this season, started 37 of them. A 455 slug percentage and a 355 on base. As with a runner on, he swings at this one, and this is a fly ball to left field. McGregor goes back to get underneath it. Caive will go on back to first. A lot of first pitch swinging here in this half of the inning, as there's 2 away as we go to the top of the order and Jose Mercado.
The shortstop, number 1.
So with 2 2/3 innings pitched so far, Egan Bondi has only thrown 22 pitches, as he is trying to make quick work of these Cougars bats that have been absolutely lethal in 2019. So needless to say, quite the script that's been flipped if you look at it on paper for what the Cougars have done to their non-conference and conference opponents this season. There is that social media hashtag beat 'em down, and boy, has that worked in Concordia's favor all season long, but it's not going to work there. A one-hopper that goes over to third as Mercado grounds out. 1 hit given up, but still quick work from Egan Bondi, as no runs, 1 hit, no error, and 1 runner, that being Rodriguez, left on base. So still nothing doing for the Cougars bats overall, as we're scoreless through 3 full. Top of the 4th inning coming up next. Scoreless between the Beavers and the Cougars here on the Cougars Sports Network. As we complete the throwdown over to second base, we're ready to begin the top of the fourth inning. Nick Henricks, the DH, will lead things off here for the Beavers of Buena Vista, followed by Logan Mueller, the third baseman, and Tyler Stoltze, the catcher, the 5, 6, and 7 hitters for the Buena Vista Beavers. As Gregory swinging and missing and chasing is Henricks on that one, strike one, way out in front of it. Henricks, the sophomore from Omaha, Nebraska, takes strike two. Stands at 6 feet, 175 pounds. Utility man that bats right, throws right. That one's outside for ball one. The tournament run that the Beavers won on, they defeated Luther in a close 1-0 contest, and in 2 games against Coe College, it was a combined score of 9-1. First time they faced Coe in their conference tournament was a 4-0 shutout, and then winning the conference tournament by a final score of 5-1. As a towering fly ball to shallow left, as coming in to make the catch was Connor Brandon, and there's one away. So now Logan Mueller, the third baseman, now will step on in.
Third baseman, number 17, Logan Mueller.
Mueller 0 for 1 today with a fly out to right. Wind blowing in as this one is fouled off to the right side. New bleachers also installed here today at the Thunderdome for Division III action all weekend long. You know CJ Sellner probably set those up himself. As this one fouls back to the netting. For those that work in college sports, you know how important your SIDs are, so always thank them and be appreciative of all their hard work they put in behind the scenes or on air when they get the opportunity. As here comes the 0-2 from Gregory. That's just below the knees for ball one. Tyler Stoltze, the catcher, is on deck. As this is a grounder to the third base side, it'll stay fair. And the throw over to first is in time. Van Duzen with a nice play to Mariotti. And score that as a 5-3 if you're scoring along at home. And there's 2 away here in the top of the fourth inning. So 2 quickly done here for Adam Gregory.
Tyler Stoltze.
Stoltze now will step in. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out to third that he had back in the second inning. As the first pitch for Stoltze is swung on and hit out of play to the right side. And overcast skies here today in River Forest. Expecting to maybe get into the upper 50s at the peak of the day today. Not expecting much sunshine, to say the least. As there is that threat of inclement weather that could come through later this afternoon. We'll keep an eye out for that as that's taken in there for strike 2. As Gregory looking for another 1-2-3 inning. Won't do it with that pitch as the count evens up. Riley McGregor, the left fielder, would be on deck should this continue. Two. Fouled back towards us. Stoltze, the sophomore, batting .308 coming into this regional, is on this offering, is on the inside corner of the plate for a called strike 3. Nicely done from the senior Adam Gregory. Zeros across the board, runs, hits, errors, and anybody left on base. Still scoreless going into the bottom of the 4th inning with the Cougars coming to bat here on the Cougars Sports Network.
Like a thief in the night, I'm coming for your heart, I'm coming for your heart. This time it's anything goes. I guess I'm just a selfish ghost. You're scared because somebody told you I was up to no good. But I'll be here, waiting for the chance to take you out the neighborhood. There's a whole wide world for us to see.
Back with you here on the Cougar Sports Network. I'm Ryan Fahey with you, alongside our producer Shelby Spitz and our camera operators Alexa Lomentini and Courtney Luciano.
For the Cougars, center fielder number 3, Keegan Tyrell.
As Keegan Tyrell steps in, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters do here in the bottom half of the 4th inning, as we're still scoreless here in River Forest, Illinois. As Tyrell 0 for 1 today with a fly out to right. Looks at that one low for ball 1. Brian Van Duzer, the third baseman, is on deck. As Tyrell looks at that one inside for strike 1. Brody Mariotti, the first baseman in the hole, the cleanup hitter for the Cougars in this lineup today for game 1 of our doubleheader. As our second of our doubleheader here in the Concordia Regional, we'll have St. John's taking on Baldwin Wallace. So full count here to the senior Keegan Tyrell, as he hits this one into left field for a leadoff single here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Second hit of the afternoon for the Cougars. Second base runner as well here for Concordia Chicago. Van Duzer now steps in with a man on. 0 for 1 with a fly out to left back in the first. So the right-handed batter steps in, and this one, look out towards the Cougars bench. Great crowd on hand here today at the campus of Concordia University, Chicago. Or even the chilly winter-esque elements, if you will. That wind chill will always come to get you in the end. Throw goes over to first. As you see here on a great look from our first base camera, the overcast skies here today. And that catches the outside part of the play for strike 2. Brody Mariotti's on deck. He struck out back in the second. So far, 2 strikeouts from Egan Bondi, the pitcher for the Beavers. Mentioned the numbers on Bondi, he came in with a batting average allowed of 279. As he's letting that stat line sort of fool you here with his quick work so far through 3+ innings so far. Throw over to first, and I believe they're going to call a balk. They're going to call a balk. First base umpire and Russ Lundquist calls the balk on Egan Bondi. Not often do you see it called, so Tyrell is going to go over to second. So now a runner in scoring position. First time that's happened for the Cougars today. As now here comes the 0-2 from Egan Bondi. That one upstairs for ball one. Not much argument from Bondi after the balk had been called, so he'll even kind of, the body language even kind of showed that he had screwed up in that sequence. The 1-2, foul tip, that goes out of play. Manduza leads the team in the batting average department of 380 coming into this regional. 62 total hits to his credit. 15 doubles, couple of triples, and 3 homers. 47 RBIs. Mention him as a first-team all-conference member of the NACC. Another one up the elevator, ball 2. Mendoza, a 2017 All-American and Conference Player of the Year in that same season. Ranks in the top 38 nationally with RBIs at 47. Two-two. Swung on in a fly ball to right field. And Roberts gets underneath. They're getting ready to tag is Tyrell for a moment, but he will get back. With about a second to spare there. He was ready to put on the Jets, but thought otherwise, and probably a good decision. So one away,
First baseman number 8,
as Brody Mariotti will step in. Tyrell, the runner at second, reaching there via a balk after a leadoff single. Mariotti struck out swinging back in the second. Mariotti hits a slapper to the third base side. And that one gets away. That one getting away, hitting the railing in front of the Cougars dugout. So Tyrell will go to third, and Mariotti's going to reach on the E5. That's the first defensive error by the Beavers here today.
Left fielder number 32, Connor Brandon.
So Connor Brandon has a runner 90 feet away from the leading run. And what better hitter to really have if you're Concordia Chicago than Connor Brandon? Off of his incredible 2019 season he has put together. Connor Brandon with a big opportunity here. And he has been known to driven runs. 6th in the country, 58 RBIs coming into this regional. And what better time to do it than now with Keegan Tyrell 90 feet away. Does that balk that happened earlier come back to haunt Egan Bondi in this sequence? And that will do the trick, as they thought they had the second out of that double play coming. As here comes Steve Eady to discuss that one, as he can't believe it. So the throw doesn't get beaten out by the base running of Connor Brandon. As if you go back now, that balk does haunt Bondi in the end, as the Cougars do strike first. and they lead 1-0.
Second baseman number 20, Braden Benavides.
So Mariotti out at second as Brandon reaches base. Benavides steps in. As here comes the 1-0 and a fly ball towards right center as Roberts gets underneath it, and he'll make the play. But not before the Cougars strike first here in the bottom of the 4th inning with 1 run and a hit out of it to go along with an error and
In the inning, 1 run.
1 runner left on base
1 error.
as the Cougars
Left on base.
strike first as we go to the top of the 5th inning. Cougars 1 and the Beavers 0 here on the Cougar Sports Network. Here we go now to the top half of the 5th inning. Beavers coming to bat. 8, 9, and 1 hitters due. Riley McGregor will start us off, followed by Noah Paper and Bryce Rowe.
Riley McGregor.
And in that last half inning, when we talked about Connor Brandon, who was 6th in the nation with 58 RBIs, as showing bunt here is McGregor. Gregory makes the play over to first, and there's 1 away. Nicely done from Gregory off the mound to make the play defensively. And there's 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Bit of a sneak play attempt there from McGregor, but Gregory begged to differ. So now Noah Paper steps in, and I'll finish that note that I had on Connor Brandon in just a moment after this next pitch. This Paper, who is 1 for 1 with a single, takes that one low in the dirt for ball 1. So I mentioned the note on Connor Brandon with being 6th in the nation with 58 RBIs coming into the regional. He almost grounded into a double play there to almost end the half inning, as this is a grounder to the second base side for Benavides to throw over to Mariotti, and there's quickly 2 away. So for Connor Brandon, he has yet to ground out into a double play at all this season, as he reached on that fielder's choice RBI.
Second baseman number 4, Bryce Rowe.
So we go to the top of the order for Bryce Rowe, who was 0 for 2 today with a couple of flyouts. As that one's upstairs for ball 1. Mentioned the numbers on Rowe, a 389 hitter. 68 hits, 5 doubles, 5 triples, which leads the team for the Beavers. Pair of homers and 20 RBIs to his credit. Walking 22 times. Hence really helping the .463 on-base percentage he's put together here in 2019. (2-0). And that's in there for strike 1. Peyton Renning, the center fielder, is on deck. And that one, home plate umpire Trent Haldeman calls high. Ball 3. Rowe perhaps looking to draw walk number 23. And that's what he is going to do. So a walk with 2 outs. It's the first walk issued by Adam Gregory here today. As now with a runner on and 2 outs, that brings up Renning, who was 2 for 2 today with a couple of singles. Mentioned the wind blowing in today from center. Check over to the runner at first and Renning. Breaking ball action there from Gregory, strike one. Running the 5'11 senior from Carroll, Iowa, product of Carroll High School, over in the state just to the west of Illinois. The 0-1 upstairs to even the count. Joe Rock, the first baseman, is on deck. He's 0 for 2, reaching on 2 fielder's choices that he had back in the first and third inning, respectively. As here comes the 1-1. Another nice pitch there from Gregory, strike two. Running did not know what to do with that one as he looks back over to his dugout saying, what do you want me to do with that? And the answer to the question was, well, nothing. Gregory trying to make quick work as quick throw over to first to Mariotti to keep the runner at bay. Bryce Rowe drawing that walk, hence how he's over at first. Here comes the 1-2. Runner takes off, and that's going to be a stolen base. Looks as if Rodriguez is ready for that one to be a called strike 3, but he didn't get it. So Rowe will get credit for the stolen base, his 21st of the season. So a runner in scoring position now for the Beavers. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Runner at second. That one outside to make the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Another spot here for Gregory to try to leave a runner in scoring position stranded to his opponent in the Beavers of Buena Vista. It would be the 3rd inning out of the 5 in which the Beavers could suffer that. And does it happen here with this 3-2? Yes, it does. Adam Gregory working out of leaving base runners aboard. No runs, hits, or errors with 1 runner left on base, that being Bryce Rowe. Bottom of the 5th inning coming up. It's the Cougars 1 and the Beavers 0 here on the Cougar Sports Network.
The number 7 batter leads off the bottom of the 5th for Concordia Chicago. Designated hitter number 16, Mateo Caive.
Mateo Caive will get us started here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. 7, 8, 9 hitters due for the Chicago Cougars. And on the first pitch for Caive, it's a bit of a squib hit-esque over to the second baseman in Rowe, and there's quickly one away here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Catcher number 25, Justin Rodriguez.
So Justin Rodriguez, who got the first hit of the contest for the Cougars back in the 3rd inning, will step in. 1 for 1 as mentioned with that single. And on the first pitch here, he's going to be 2 for 2. So Rodriguez aboard as he now has back-to-back singles in his at-bats with 1 on here, 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning. So Rodriguez is aboard. Matt Fouth, the right fielder, now will come on in.
Right fielder number 7, Matt Fouth.
Cougars this season have 38 fifth-inning runs, compared to only allowing 16 from their opponents they've faced. Concordia's been able to do most of their damage in the opening innings of the first and second. They combined 109 runs this season for Concordia Chicago in innings 1 and 2 respectively. As this one's hit to the right side out of play. Last time the Cougars were here on their home field, it was a very convincing doubleheader victory over Rockford University. They won game 1 of that back on May 7th, 10-0. And then in game 2, they won 14-1. So they outscored Rockford in the last time they were here at home, 24-1. Needless to say, that is not bad baseball. Here's the 1-2 now to Fouth as this one stays outside to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Top of the order due up next, Jose Mercado, the shortstop. Rodriguez, the runner on first. As on this 2-2, it's fouled to the netting. In game 2 of our doubleheader that we'll have for you later on today, Baldwin Wallace taking on St. John's. And the loser of this one will be playing in our opening Saturday morning triple header at 8:30 a.m. So set your alarm clocks and grab a cup of coffee tomorrow as Fouth hits this one out to center field. And Reading easily will make the play out in center, and there's 2 away. So back up to the top of the order we will go. Jose Mercado, 0 for 2 today with a flyout and a ground out.
Shortstop number 1, Jose Mercado.
So Mercado now digs in. The senior from Columbia. As he looks at that one outside for a ball. Mercado, a 5'9" senior, bats right, throws right. Rodriguez, the runner at first. After the single he had, as Mercado hits this one in the left field, and that'll be a base hit for the senior Mercado. So Mercado reaches after the 1-0 count. So now 2 runners on base, 1 in scoring position as Keegan Tyrell will step in. He led off the 4th inning with a single, reached to second on a balk, and eventually came in as a run scored. After a fielder's choice RBI from Connor Brandon, was able to get him home. And on the first pitch here, right to Tyrell, as Tyrell on the first pitch grounds out to second. As this half inning comes to an end, as no runs come in to score for the Cougars off of a pair of hits, no runs, and a couple of runners left on base, that being Rodriguez and Mercado. We're through 5 here fully here in River Forest, Illinois. 1-0 the difference so far between the Cougars and the Beavers here on the Cougar Sports Network. We're through 5 here fully as we go to the top of the 6th inning. Beavers coming to bat. 3, 4, and 5 hitters due.
First baseman number 19, Joe Rock.
So Joe Rock will step in. He's 0 for 2, reaching on 2 fielders' choices respectively from the first and third inning. He'll be followed by Coleman Roberts and Nick Henricks. As this one's inside from Gregory for ball 1. As Gregory now at 77 pitches now through 5+. Make it 78 there as this one's fouled off to the left side out of play. No action from the bullpen yet. From either side, that is. And great crowd here today at Cougar Field in the Thunderdome. There's the 1-1. Great pitch there from Gregory, strike 2. Mentioned the right fielder Coleman Roberts on deck. He's 0 for 2 today, reaching on an error and then a strikeout. That's fouled off out of play. Gregory only striking out 2 batters so far here today. Walking 1, giving up 3 hits, no runs. Lefty versus lefty, Gregory versus Rock. The 2-2 is swung on in a grounder that will get into center field for a leadoff single here in the top of the 6th inning. So 3 times in a row, Rock reaches base. And there's one on here with nobody out in the top of the 6th.
Right fielder number 15, Coleman Roberts.
So Coleman Roberts now will dig in. Reached on an E4 back in the 1st inning. He was caught out at second on a force out 6-4, and he struck out swinging back in the 3rd inning. Bunt laid down, coming into play at Van Duzer. Throw over to first is in time, and there's one away. So 1 out, but does get the runner in scoring position, that being Joe Rock. And now the DH, Nick Henricks, will dig on in. He's 0 for 2 today, grounding out on a fielder's choice to end the 1st inning. And then he flew out to left back in the 4th. Runner in scoring position, 1 out. As a ground ball to the shortstop, Mercado. Settles it on down, throw it to first. Is in time to get him. And there's 2 away. So now it's up to the 3rd baseman and Logan Mueller, who is 0 for 2 today with a flyout and a ground out.
Logan Mueller.
Mueller, the first-year player for the Beavers of Buena Vista, the freshman from Columbus, Nebraska. Swing and a miss there as that one was inside. A 1 count here. Runner on second base, that being Joe Rock. As Mueller will hit a chopper to the 3rd base side for Van Duzer. Throw over to first is in time. And another stranded runner on the bases for the Beavers. So no runs after 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. Still a tight score going to the bottom of the 6th inning. Cougars 1, Beavers 0 here on the Cougar Sports Network.
Low key and staying candid. Reflect on all the things I try my hand at. Search for the equation to persuasions I'm used to. Finding comfort in the zones, the clouds and bones I get used to. A mountain is Fontaine. Spinning and monsoon and grinning is high octane. Explosive how I came. Rolling down the hills cause life's a hassle. The circle by my folly like the boats around the castle. Stay afloat, catch a second wind. Thin is the air I breathe. Teary-eyed nose running, wipe the snot on my sleeve. I'm calling on the Savior to be all that I need. Please forgive me, my behavior had me lost in light speed.
Here we go now to the bottom half of the 6th inning. 3, 4, and 5 hitters due for the Cougars. Brian Van Duzer will lead things off here in the bottom of the 6th. He was 0 for 2 with a couple of flyouts. He'll be followed by Brody Mariotti and Connor Brandon. As the first pitch here for Van Duzer is outside for ball 1. As there is some action brewing in the Beavers bullpen. Something to keep an eye on as we go along. As Egan Bondi was cruising through the first 3+ innings. As really, when he was issued the balk, is when things have really started to turn towards the momentum of the Cougars. As they've been able to get base runners on rather consistently since. As that one is inside for ball 3 to Van Duzer. Since that balk, there's been a couple of more hits coming for Concordia Chicago, but there won't be one here. As a fly ball will be caught to the right field side by Roberts, and there's one away. So Van Duzer now 0 for 3 today with 3 flyouts.
First baseman number 8.
So Brody Mariotti will dig on in. He's 0 for 2. He reached on an error, on an E5 throwing error back in the 4th inning. And he was on a force out that was out to second on a 4-6. As this one almost clips the jersey on the inside, ball 1. Brody Mariotti, a second-team all-conference player this season. As this one catches the outside part of the plate for strike 1. A team that is in the top 39 in batting average at .320. As Mariotti swings and misses there. 1-0 here for Concordia. And a team that is one of the best offensive powerhouses in Division III baseball has been silenced to what they've done a lot this season as Mariotti strikes out swinging. That's the second time he's gone down swinging today. As that brings in Connor Brandon.
Left fielder number 32, Connor Brandon.
It's also no discredit to the pitching staff as well, as they're 13th in the country in whip with a 124. So Connor Brandon steps in, had the fielder's choice RBI back in the 4th inning to bring in Keegan Tyrell as the go-ahead run. And that's been our only difference on the scoreboard so far today. Bondi working quickly, a ground to the third base side for Mueller. And the throw over to first is in time. And the Cougars go down 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. No runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. Still a tight game as we go to the top half of the 7th inning. Concordia Chicago still has the 1-0 lead. Beavers coming to bat next here on the Cougars Sports Network. We go now to the top half of the 7th inning. 1-0 Cougars, a tight one so far. The 7, 8, 9 hitters are due for the Beavers, as leading things off here in the top of the 7th is Tyler Stoltze. I want to thank our great crew here in the booth with me today. Shelby Spitz, our producer, and our camera operators, Alexa Lomantini and Courtney Luciano. Of course, also the great work of CJ Sellner and Jim Egan behind the scenes as well. You've heard probably both of them on the PA mic throughout the contest today as well. Those fine voices of River Forest, Illinois. Put those two in the conversation of name a more iconic duo. I'll wait. As a fly ball to the right field side is going to go out of play, just over the fence. As the count now goes to no balls and 2 strikes to Tyler Stoltze, the catcher. Stoltze 0 for 2 today with a ground out to third back in the 2nd, and he struck out swinging back in the 4th. A bundled up crowd here in River Forest, Illinois, at the campus of Concordia University, Chicago. That won't be the same tomorrow, as a swing and a miss ball in the dirt, but they're going to call it a foul tip. Adam Gregory working now through 6+. No action in the Cougars bullpen just yet. Did mention in the last half inning there was some activity warming in the Beaver side of things. This is followed behind us. Cougars have won 7 straight conference regular season titles. Won a school record 40 games a year ago. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. Stoltze goes down swinging again. So nobody on with 1 out. Riley McGregor, who is 0 for 2, will come on in.
Left fielder, number 3, Riley McGregor.
Cougars also had a conference record of a 21-1 win-loss ratio against conference opponents this year. A stat that seems kind of unimaginable, but was attained in 2019. As a swing and a miss there from McGregor makes the count at a ball and a strike. Best regular season record, 35-5, the school's best in program history, as the curveball has been working for Adam Gregory here today, strike 2. Mike Stosky, 146 wins and 48 losses. 98 games above 500. Not bad, and not bad again. Adam Gregory, consecutive strikeouts swinging, and there's 2 away. This is a Cougars team that did not win the conference tournament, as they were upset, you can say, call it the upset by Aurora University on the final day of the conference tournament. 5-1 was the score in that one. So Concordia Chicago, officially an at-large bid, but still a top team in Division III baseball, hosting this weekend. As this one is just upstairs for a ball to Noah Paper, who was 1 for 2 today with a single. And mention the Thunderdome and how well the Cougars have played here. If you go back the last 12 seasons, 149 wins and 25 losses in 12 years here in River Forest, Illinois. Is that one in there for a called strike 2? As Adam Gregory on the 2-1 throws pitch number 100. And that's outside for ball 3. So the home percentage for the Cougars in the last 12 years is an .856 winning percentage at home in the last 12 seasons here at Concordia University, Chicago. As the count now has run full, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Noah Paper, the shortstop. As this 3-2 offering is a fly ball down the right field line, but it'll go out of play. 2 consecutive strikeouts here for Gregory. He's got 5 on the day, as he's now over 100 pitches. Again, no activity yet in the Cougars bullpen, though. Mike Stosky letting his pitcher grind it out. Top of the 7th, here comes the full count, as this one is a liner that just gets over the outstretched glove of Benavidez, and a 2-out single for Noah Paper. So a runner on with 2 outs, and that brings in Bryce Rowe, who was 0 for 2 today with a walk and a stolen base. First pitch is a bunt laid down. Gregory will play it himself. Throw over to first is a rocket, but it's not going to be in time as the runner gets on base safely. That'll be a base hit. And now there's 2 runners aboard with 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning. So Noah Paper over at second. Bryce Rowe at first after the bunt single. Peyton Rennie now will dig on in. He's 2 for 3 today. 2 singles and a strikeout. Gregory working as this one gets in the dirt for ball 1. As Gregory trying to work out of another jam with Beavers on the bases. Joe Rock would be on deck and get in should this continue. The 1-0 outside. Gregory with a perfect 6-0 record here in 2019. As if he gets out of this one, he will have finished 60 innings pitched here in 2019. Had 53 coming into this regional today, and a swing and a miss there as that one was outside to Peyton Rennie, 2-1. Paper the runner at second, Rowe the runner at first. 1-0 score here in the top of the 7th. Swing and a miss again, and the count runs even. Deuce is wild, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A big spot for Gregory here to try to get out of this jam, as he's been able to do that a few times today. Can he do it once more? Yes, he can! Fired up as he comes off the mound, and the Beavers leave 2 stranded. No runs come in after a couple of hits. No errors and a few left on, as Adam Gregory has been dealing and wheeling here for the Concordia Chicago Cougars. As you get one more look at that chasing strike 3 that was called. Rennie goes down swinging and going down with no runs on the board for the Beavers of Buena Vista. To the bottom of the 7th we will go. It's the Cougars 1 and the Beavers 0 here on the Cougars Sports Network.
The number 6 batter lays off the bottom of
Time to go to the bottom of the 7th inning as it's stretch time here in River Forest, Illinois. 1-0 Cougars. Braden Benavidez will lead things off as he takes that one low for ball 1. The 6, 7, and 8 hitters are due for the Cougars. And a tightly contested 1-0 contest here to begin our regional action this weekend. Benavidez 0 for 2 today, with a strikeout swinging back in the 2nd and a flyout to right field back in the 4th as he fouls this one behind home plate. Count now goes to 2 balls and a strike. Mateo Caive, the DH, is on deck, and in the hole is the catcher Justin Rodriguez, who's got a pair of singles and has overall had the best day with the bat for the Cougars. The 2-1, a fly ball to right. Roberts has been very busy in right field today, and he makes the first out of this half inning. As the 6th flyout to right field today, that has occurred with the Cougars bats, so I mentioned Roberts getting a lot of work out there in right field today. Mateo Caive now will step in.
Designated hitter, number 16, Mateo
Caive 0 for 2 today, as this is a grounder to the third base side. As you see the ball go foul on your screen to the left side. Mateo grounded out to short back in the 3rd, and he popped out to 2nd back in the 5th. 0-1 is a little high and inside to even the count. Justin Rodriguez, we mentioned, having a pair of singles today, is on deck. The catcher. As Caive sees that one low. Caive, the junior from Medellin, Colombia. Transferred from Laney Community College as he looks at that one for strike 2. Caive, a .380 hitter in 31 games for Concordia Chicago this season, as this one is a chopper up the middle. Trying to make the play as the second baseman in row, but it is not going to be in time. Good effort on the play defensively, but Caive beats it out as he gets on with his first hit of the afternoon. So Caive on off the 2-2 single, as the catcher Justin Rodriguez will dig on in.
Justin Rodriguez.
Rodriguez with 2 singles back in the 3rd and 5th inning respectively, although nobody was able to bring him home though. As Rodriguez looks at ball 1 outside. Rodriguez, the senior from Wooddale, Illinois, product of Fenwick High School. Not that far from here, actually. As this one's outside for ball 2. (2-0). Swung on in a fly ball to right field, and right on cue it's Roberts, and there's 2 away. So that's now 7 flyouts to right field today. So that's an average of 1 per. As Matt Fouth, the right fielder, now will get set. Fouth is 0 for 2 today with a couple of flyouts. Shockingly not to right field, though. 1 to left and 1 to center. As this one gets in the dirt, runner takes off for second. That's Caive, and he will go to second base on a pass ball. So ball 1 to Fouth. Caive gets in scoring position to second off the passed ball, as that'll be officially scored. (1-0). Will be in there for strike 1. Top of the order on deck, Jose Mercado. He's 1 for 3 today with a single. Fouth, a .281 hitter, .455 slug percentage, .355 on base. Wants to improve those numbers here. as this is a liner down the left side, but out of play. As the count now goes to a ball and 2 strikes. The 3, 4, 5 hitters are due for the Beavers coming up. Joe Rock, Coleman Roberts, and Nick Hendricks. That's who's next up for the Beavers in the top half of the 8th inning. Fouth, the 9 hitter for the Cougars, facing a 1-2. As that's high and outside to even the count. Two balls and 2 strikes, and here comes the pitch from Egan Bondi. Foul back towards us. Things really started to turn towards the Cougars after that balk that was called by the first base umpire and Russ Lundquist on Egan Bondi. A run was able to come in to score off of that fielder's choice RBI. It was Keegan Tyrell who had a single, advanced to second off the balk, and was able to come in as a run scored off of what eventually came with an E5 throwing error and then an RBI fielder's choice by Connor Brandon. That's been our lone difference on the score bug you see on your screen today. Full count now to the right fielder, Matt Fouth. Foul to the right side, and we'll do it again. So 83 pitches now for Egan Bondi. He had one point had about 23 through 3 complete innings, as he was working rather efficiently, as now some of the at-bats have been grindouts here for Egan Bondi. Quick overlook to second. Same result as the last pitch thrown, and we'll do it again. Ninth pitch of the at-bat upcoming from Matt Fouth, as he is grinding this one out. 3 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner in scoring position, Mateo Cave. The pitch and a swing and a miss, strike 3. Bondi's pumped up for that one as Fouth goes down swinging, and that does it for the Cougars in the bottom of the 7th inning. No runs and a hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We'll go to the top of the 8th inning. Cougars 1, Beavers 0. Getting towards those final stages. We'll have it for you next on the Cougar Sports Network.
And just a reminder that we have game 2 of our regional set for 1:30 this afternoon. Baldwin Wallace versus St. John's, Minnesota. And the schedule has 3 games for tomorrow beginning at 8:30 in the morning. Make sure to check your team's website or the schedule in the tournament program for more details.
Off we go now to the top half of the 8th inning. The 3, 4, 5 hitters up for the Buena Vista Beavers. Joe Rock, Coleman Roberts, and Nick Hendricks will get us going. 1-0 lead for the Cougars. Adam Gregory back out on the mound. There is some activity in the Cougars bullpen as a leadoff single on the first pitch from Joe Rock gets the Beavers a base runner to start off the top of the 8th inning. And warming up for the Cougars in the bullpen right now is Mike Tobin, right-handed thrower, the first-year player from Hickory Hills, Illinois. So we'll keep an eye on that as Coleman Roberts, the right fielder, steps on in. He is 0 for 3 today, reaching on an error back in the first. Check over to first. Roberts struck out swinging back in the third, and he bunted into a ground out 5-3 to the third baseman back in the 6th inning. That one just upstairs for ball 1 to Coleman Roberts. Coleman Roberts, the sophomore, 6 foot, 180-pound right-handed batter from Gilbert, Arizona. Probably was wishing for the Arizona weather here today. Another quick check down over to first to Mariotti to keep the runner at bay. See the one runner on first, the other base pad's open on your screen. Mentioned Mike Tobin warming up for the Concordia Chicago Cougars. He's appeared in 17 games this season, has recorded 7 saves with a 169 earned run average. As Roberts held up his swing, as that's low in the dirt for ball 2. Couple check down throws over to first. Joe Rock, not often to be an aggressive base runner, but he does have 3 stolen bases this season on 4 attempts. 2-0 is swung on as that was inside and fouled back. 113 pitches now for Adam Gregory after the foul ball. As in the preferred way, you'd like to probably see Gregory get through the 8th and then have Tobin come in to close out the 9th. As the 2-1, a swing and a miss there, strike 2 to even us up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. I did mention there could be a chance of rain later today, and we are starting to see a couple of raindrops. Nothing that would impede us at the moment, as this 2-2 is swung on in a fly ball to shallow center, playable for Tyrell. And he comes in to make the catch, and there's one away. So the DH and Nick Hendricks will step in. He's 0 for 3 today. Fielder's choice ground out, fly out to left, and a ground out to short has been his afternoon with the bat so far. And Rodriguez, the catcher, now will call for time. As there's 1 out, runner at first. As the meeting on the mound to commence to talk a little strategy here with 1 out. And Nick Hendricks, the DH, on. So again, the preferred way you want to see this is Gregory finish this 8th to save it for the freshman and Tobin to close out in the 9th. So the meeting breaks up. Hendricks, the DH, gets set now. The 6-foot sophomore from Omaha, Nebraska. And another throw over to keep Rock at bay. As Hendricks, the DH, a .275 hitter coming into action today. Second-year player for the Beavers of Buena Vista. As the pitch here is fouled back to the netting. Rock reaching with a leadoff single to begin our top half of the 8th inning. As that is just at the knees for strike 2. Hendricks doesn't like the call. As Gregory looking for strikeout number 6. That one up the elevator, ball 1. correct myself, looking for strikeout number 7. He has 6 so far today. 1-2 counting out of the DH and Hendricks. This is a ground ball to the shortstop, Mercado. Can they turn 2? They get 1, and they get the second runner, a 6-4-3 double play. Cougars will be looking for some insurance runs as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Gregory gets out of the jam, a 6-4-3 double play, a big one for the Cougars to get out of, as the bottom of the 8th inning is coming up next. Cougars 1, Beavers 0, here on the Cougars Sports Network. Getting ready to start the bottom of the 8th inning. Here's how the last half inning came to an end. A 6-4-3 double play is what put us, courtesy of Jose Mercado. We'll get one more look at that here. As you see the grounder, great positioning by Mercado. And the throw over to first in time to beat out the DH in Hendricks by a step. And a big defensive stop there for the Cougars, as they have the 1-0 lead going into the bottom of the 8th inning. Great work from our replay there from our producer Shelby Spitz, our camera operator Alexa Lomentini, and Courtney Luciano. I'm Ryan Fay with you on the call for Division III baseball regional action on day 1 of 3 here at Concordia Chicago, as they'll be hosting all weekend long. Bottom of the 8th inning, off we go, as we are leading off this bottom of the 8th inning with the leadoff hitter Jose Mercado. I just mentioned him talking and leading the double play to end the top half of the 8th. Mercado today 1 for 3 with a single, as the 2-0 is on the inside part of the plate for strike 1. Keegan Tyrell and Brian Van Duzer will follow, the 1-2-3 hitters for the Cougars today. And Mercado swings at that one for a big cut, 2-2. Tyrell on deck. He's 1 for 2 today with a single, going to second on a balk, and then coming in as a run scored. A fly out to right and a ground out to second. 2-2. Bondi hits Mercado. And mind you, this is a team in the Beavers that is 11th in the country in hitting the most batters with 68, so now make it 69 on the year.
Center fielder number 3, Keegan Tyrell.
As for Mercado, he gets on base. He's also, Mercado, he's 3rd in the country coming into today with being hit by a pitch 23 times. Now make it 24. As Keegan Tyrell will have to wait, as this one is a throw back over to first. And you're seeing the umbrella start to pop up here. Very light rain starting to come to Cougar Field at the Thunderdome, as a bunt's going to be laid down by Tyrell. Runner will go to second. Tyrell out at first, as the job gets done by Tyrell to get Mercado in scoring position. As with 1 out, a runner in scoring position, and this looks like that's going to be the end of the day for the pitcher in Egan Bondi, who's done all he could. He applauds his teammates as he's done for the day. Gives up 1 run, 5 hits, striking out 4 batters in the process as well. And coming in now to pitch for the Beavers of Buena Vista is number 13, Engage Smart. And he is one of their best arms this season. He's 9th in the country with a 121 earned run average. He's 11th in saves as well with 8, and he's first in whip at .63. It's not a bad arm that's coming out of the bullpen. A strong left-handed thrower is Gage Smart, the 6'1 junior from Indiloa, Iowa. As the numbers, as we finish off the line, he's pitched 16 2/3 innings this season, only allowing 3 earned runs, striking out 25 batters, which leads the team in that department. And the batting average allowed is a microscopic .089. So Smart will get set as he will be facing Brian Van Duzer up next. So Van Duzer now will get set. He's 0 for 3 today with 3 flyouts. As for the Cougars, they'd love to add some insurance here. So Van Duzer gets set, facing the powerful left-handed thrower, Gage Smart. Runner takes off for third, no throw. Nicely done by Jose Mercado to be 90 feet away from home.
There's the third baseman, number 9, Brian Van Duzer.
So ball 1 there to Van Duzer. One-0 is low for ball 2. So as mentioned, Mercado 90 feet away from home off the stolen base to third. Van Duzer looking for his first hit of the afternoon. 2 balls and no strikes. And swung on and fouled back, 2-1. Brody Mariotti on deck. He's 0 for 3 today, reaching on an error back in the 4th. And he's struck out swinging twice. The 2-1. Bunt attempt laid down, but it's fouled back to the backstop, 2-2. Not much room to the backstop from where the home plate is at, maybe about 15 feet or so. 15, 20 feet if that. So if a ball does get to the wall, it ain't going to go very far, as the 2-2 is outside, and Brody Mariotti has worked the count, or I should say Brian Van Duzer, has worked the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Brody Mariotti on deck. Jose Mercado, the runner at third. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Is inside, and Van Duzer walks. Runners on the corners, 1 out for Brody Mariotti.
First baseman, number 8, Brody Mariotti.
Mariotti takes that one inside for strike 1. After time called, 0-1 count to Mariotti. The pitch swung on and fouled back. Again, the umbrella's coming out. Light rain falling down here at the Thunderdome. This was expected to come towards the area today. Runner takes off to second. The pitch is inside, as Van Duzer will take second base easily. So a stolen base there for Van Duzer to get in scoring position as well. The 1-2 is swung onto the right side and fouled away. Brody Mariotti with a chance to try to bring in a couple of insurance runs right here against Gage Smart. That one is fouled off to the right side. Ball and 2 strikes, the pitch. A chopper that goes foul right behind and to the left of home plate. Gage Smart, one of the best pitchers in the country for the Beavers of Buena Vista out of the American Rivers Conference. Mariotti hits a drive. That one hit well out towards left center field, but getting underneath this one will be Rennie. Runners tagging from second and third respectively. Mercado scores. Going over to third is Brian Van Duzer. The insurance run comes in, and it's 2-0 Cougars with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning. So Mariotti will get credit for it on the sack. Mercado comes in to score. Van Duzer now 90 feet away, as that now brings up the left fielder, Connor Brandon. And a swing and a miss there on the first pitch for Connor Brandon. Had the fielder's choice RBI back in the 4th inning. Connor Brandon, a conference player of the year, a top 6 player in RBIs with 58 coming in today. He's got 59 with 1 here today, and that plunks him on the left side as now he'll reach base. That's the second hit batter in this half inning. As mentioned, this is a pitching staff in the Beavers that have hit quite a bit of batters. That's now the 70th hit batter that they've enforced here in 2019, as Braden Benavides now will step in. He's 0 for 3 today with a strikeout and a couple of flyouts. So meeting at the mound to talk strategy with 2 outs. 2-0 Cougars here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Again, coming up for the second of our doubleheader here today in day 1 of our 3-day regional action, we'll have St. John's taking on Baldwin Wallace for a projected 1:30 p.m. first pitch start time. And we'll have that all for you in all 3 games Saturday, and 1 and possibly 2 on Sunday. Again, double elimination here in Division III baseball regional action. So Benavides digs in against Smart, and he takes low and outside for ball 1. Runner takes off from first, and a swing and a miss. No throw to second, as Connor Brandon will steal second. So he gets into scoring position. 1-1 the count to Benavides. A foul tip, strike 2 in the glove. See the runners at second and third on your screen a moment ago. Brandon at second, and Van Duzer over at third, and this is a fly ball to the right side out of play. wind and the rain appears to now be kind of blowing in from left center. Ball and 2 strikes. Here's Benavides to try to keep the half inning going, as this is a ground ball to the third base side for Emilio to play. Throw over to first is low, but in time. And that does it for the Cougars here in the bottom of the 8th inning. But not before an insurance run comes in for Concordia Chicago. A run comes in off of no hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. Cougars trying to close it out and move to the winning portion of the bracket with 3 outs to go in the top of the 9th inning. Coming up next, it's the Cougars 2 and the Beavers 0 here on the Cougars Sports Network.
Defensive change for Concordia Chicago. Number 36, Jacob Frank, is now playing first base. 14 for 17. And he will bat in the 4th spot. And pitching for the Cougars is number 26, Mike Tobin.
So here we go now to the top of the 9th inning, looking to close this one down now for the Cougars. Is their freshman pitcher number 26, Mike Tobin. So the day for Gregory is done, but what a day he had. Striking out 6 batters, 7 hits, no runs allowed. As you couldn't ask for much more from your senior pitcher to kick off the regionals here today. So now that Tobin steps in, a 169 earned run average with 7 saves, a 1-0 record, making his 18th appearance this season. 21 1/3 innings pitched, allowing 14 hits, 6 runs, 4 of them earned, walking 7 batters, and striking out 20. Got a pinch hitter now coming on in as Tyler Tennyson will step on in.
Will be number 14, Tyler Tennyson.
And Tyler Tennyson on the first pitch hits a fly ball to right center field, and making the play and making the catch is fouled, and there's 1 away. So quickly 1 out for Tobin, the pitcher, as Tyler Stolze now will step on in. Nobody on, 1 out, 2-0 Cougars. If the result holds, the Beavers will play to begin tomorrow's portion of our regional at 8:30 in the morning. If the Cougars hold on for the victory, they will play in the winner's portion of the regional bracket tomorrow for a projected 11 a.m. first pitch. Correction, 12 noon. 11 a.m. if you're in the mountain time, though. As that pitch is just inside to Stolze for ball 1. Even count. Stolze 0 for 3 today with a couple of strikeouts swinging. Here's the 1-1 from the freshman Tobin. And a good breaking pitch inside, strike 2. Riley McGregor, the left fielder, is on deck. Here comes the 1-2. And that's outside to even the count up. Riley McGregor, we mentioned on deck. He's 0 for 3 today with a couple of ground outs and a strikeout swinging. The 2-2 is a fly ball to left field. That's hit pretty deep, but able to get under it as tracing back to get it is Connor Brandon, and the Beavers are down to their final out. So it relies on Riley McGregor for the Buena Vista Beavers.
Left fielder, number 3, Riley McGregor.
So McGregor, first pitch he sees is at the knees, strike 1. Noah Paper is on deck should this half inning continue. The 0-1. Excuse me, swing, strike 2, and the Beavers are down to their final strike. If the Cougars win, they play at noon tomorrow. If the Beavers lose, they play at 8:30. Will the result hold? Yes, it will. To the winner's bracket tomorrow go the Cougars, and we'll see the Beavers tomorrow morning at 8:30. But what a start of hosting the regional for the host Cougars as they win to begin regional action on this Friday, May 17th, 2019. 2-0. The Cougars get the W here at the Thunderdome. As the Cougars will meet with themselves around home plate, or I should say the pitcher's mound. High fives to go around, and the handshakes with the Beavers as well. Game 2 coming up at 1:30, as we'll have St. John's taking on Baldwin Wallace, as the winner of that will take on the Cougars, and the loser will take on the Beavers tomorrow morning. So we'll step aside for a bit. We'll get you set for our doubleheader to cap it off at 1:30 today between Baldwin Wallace and St. John's. Stick around. You don't want to miss it. We'll be back in a bit here on the Cougars Sports Network. Don't go away.
As a result of this game, Buena Vista will play the 8:30 game tomorrow morning against the loser of our next game, Baldwin Wallace and St. John's. Concordia Chicago will play the 12 noon game tomorrow versus the winner of our next game. A reminder, please check around your seating area as you leave. Make sure you do not leave any personal items behind. If you have any trash from food or drink, please dispose